Hi everybody, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be doing the sketch for a new profile pic for my Facebook profile. You'll see my current Facebook profile in the upper left hand corner, and that's what I'm going to be using for a reference drawing. What you'll see right now is that I'm basically trying to lay out where I want the basic constructions to be, and I'm starting with the construction of the head. So the construction of the head is basically a circle to represent the cranium of the skull, a line to indicate where the center line of the face is. This is going to be in a 3/4 pose, slightly 3/4, so it's going to be slightly to the side, and then some lines to indicate where the jaw structure is. And then I'm getting started with the ear over on the side, and I'm going to start adding in the neck and the shoulders. The purpose of doing a basic rough sketch like this is to essentially block out where things are going to be. A lot of people who do drawings and they don't do this step usually find out that they have, heads that are too big, arms that are too long, or things of that nature. So blocking things out helps you keep things in good proportion. What I'm starting to do now is I'm starting to define where the hat is. So I'm defining where the lower portion of the hat is and where the cap part of the hat is. Notice how it goes over the skull, which is what normal hats do. They go over your skull, along with your hair. So make sure you give yourself some space for those when you're drawing your caps. And now I'm starting to add the bill to the cap, which is quite big, and it's kind of a big swooshing kind of line that I'm trying to get done. And what I realized is I haven't given myself enough room for the hat. The cap part of the hat looks quite short, so I'm just transforming my drawing and dragging it down to give me more room to make the hat taller. I actually end up doing this one more time because I severely underestimated how tall that part of the cap actually is. This line here tells you generally where the eyes are going to be, and the angle that the head is at. And I'm using that as a guideline to make sure that I put the sunglasses on evenly. Because the face is round, if you don't put in a curved guideline and you just put your glasses on straight, they're going to look kind of strange. The glasses should be, especially these wraparound shades, should be holding onto your head. And another thing to notice is that on the far side of the glasses actually stick out further than the head. Later on, I do transform the drawing, and this part gets changed, and I actually go back and fix it after this video. But that's an important thing to keep in mind when you're looking at or you're drawing glasses, is that one side of the glasses always sticks out much further than the side of the head. I'm just adding in the nose now. I want this drawing to be slightly anime, slightly Western cartoon style, so I'm not overly going to define the nose, just a relatively flat line, maybe with some shading. I haven't decided yet at this point. And just move it closer to where I think that the nose should be in this drawing. Moving down, I'm going to start working on the mouth. And the original drawing, it's quite a neutral expression. I wanted to change it just a little bit to make it look a little bit more serious, a little bit more thuggish maybe. So it's slightly, little less happy. And then I'm starting to define the side of the face. The big bump is going to represent the cheekbones. For me, I have quite strong cheekbones, so I'm trying to make sure I do that. And then there's also a little bit of space where the cheek will stick out. And what you'll notice is over those original light sketch lines, I'm starting to push a little bit harder with my stylus so that I can get harder lines. And I'm going to keep refining this. for right now, this curvature of the face is okay, but I'll have to go back and fix it because it is a little bit too extreme. And so what I'm doing now is I'm just going through and I'm starting to decide which lines I like and starting to define more places of the drawing. So like where the ears are, where the hood is, starting to move into the hood and the different clothes. The clothing is a little bit more easier to do than the face because the lines don't have to be so precise. As we wear clothes, the clothes move around, so they don't have to be in exactly the perfect spot. But with your face contours, they don't change very much. So, and people are going to be focusing on your face, so you need to make sure that those are accurate. I'm just doing one more adjustment to make sure that I can fit all of this baseball cap onto the drawing. I was quite surprised at how tall this style of hat actually is. And I'm going to just keep working on the clothing. Starting to define the outer edges of the hoodie and where the neck actually is. Because of the t-shirt, this neck kind of ends in quite a square shape. Get the other side of the hoodie. It's really important to have like a reference drawing when you're doing something like this, even if you're doing a cartoon version of it, because it will help you notice where different things are and pick out the smaller details that you might not otherwise have. I don't always use reference drawings. For example, if I'm doing some original character, maybe I don't go that far and I just go with what looks nice. But even then, I still might research what different hairstyles might look like or what different body types might look like. I'm starting to define the chin. And at this point, basically everything in the drawing has been more or less locked in. So I'm going back now and I'm making some corrections. I'll make the hat just a little bit taller and start adding the details. For example, the LA logo that's in this baseball cap. I think an important thing when you're doing this initial sketch is to be very loose. The looser you are, the more likely you are to find things that look nice. And what you basically end up doing is deciding what nice looking things you want to keep and what things you don't want to keep. And you do that in later stages. I'm going through starting to define the lenses and the glasses. So, for example, the ear was just added in quite loosely, and I kind of like the way that it looked. The shape at the bottom of it is not at all like the shape of the ear in the reference drawing, but it looks quite nice in the stylized way that it is. And starting to define the inside of the ear. And going back now to this contour. What I'm doing is I'm doing kind of an erasing and adding strategy where I'll erase one side of the line and draw more on the other side of the line. And what that does is it pushes the line to the left or pushes it to the right where you want it, and it can also smooth out the lines. You'll see me doing that when I get down to the contour here. So I'm erasing. I'm erasing and what you can see is that it already starts to smooth out the line so it's less wavy. But one thing that it also does is it does push that contour further to the outside, which means I will have to go back and fix the glasses so that they stick out beyond that line. I'm just making other adjustments here. For example, moving the t-shirt up, adding in the sternocleidomastoid muscle, which is the value of my university degree. I know the word sternocleidomastoid. And doing some cleanup as well. Erasing maybe some foundation lines that I use to get me where I am, and making sure that they're not in the way when I go to do my ink work. And then the last thing I'm going to do is, at the end I've noticed that the head is just a little bit too narrow, so I'm going to select it and I'm just going to transfer it just a little bit wider to match up the proportions of my head. And then I'm going to go back and just fix up some of these lines that no longer connect or no longer moving smoothly from one line to the other. So I'm just going to go fix up those lines, and that'll be the end of this sketching video. I'm going to be doing 3-part video for this particular drawing. This one is going to show the sketching, the next video will show the inking of the drawing, and then the next one will show the digital coloring of it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you for part 2 where I ink this drawing digitally.